Will Anthony Richardson start week 1 for the Indianapolis Colts? Being drafted at 4th overall, you are really expected to come in and perform right away. Now, when you're a quarterback and you haven't played a lot of games in college, Anthony Richardson started 13 games, started 12 in 2022. You start to raise some questions. How long is he going to have to sit? How long is he going to have to wait until he actually plays? He's not going to be ready. Well, I'm here to persuade you the other way that Anthony Richardson needs to play, and I'm going to explain why. Anthony Richardson didn't play much in college, as we already mentioned. 2022 is really the only year he had some serious playing time. 2020, he had a few attempts. 2021, he played a little bit more. In 2022, he really took that step in experience. Now, we all know his athletic ability is incredible. We have never seen a quarterback with this ability, this type of athletic profile, 6'4", 244 pounds, ran a 4.43, broke the record for vertical jumps for quarterbacks. There's so much to like about his game. He has a lot of great traits. Now, some of the little things he's going to have to work on. You look at his completion percentage, that was not the greatest. But he's going to have to work on footwork, some mechanics. But I've heard and we've seen him working with Gardner Minshew extensively. And been working with other quarterback trainers, just working with him extensively to work on his footwork and to work on those mechanics because, being so raw and barely playing, you need a lot of training. You need a lot of help at this moment. And Anthony Richardson's no different. You look at the tape, you see a lot of things you love. He can run. As we've seen at the combine and we've seen on tape, for being 6'4", 244 pounds, he can move. And on top of that, he's got a cannon for an arm. A lot of times, sometimes when players, are kind of, a little more shifty, especially quarterbacks, they're a little more shifty. They move around a lot more. A lot of times, they're just not as, they just don't have strong arms. Sometimes they don't. Anthony Richardson is extremely fast. It's big. And he's got a huge arm. So, he's got some great traits, right? He has stepped in quick at Florida and just took it away. The new coaches last year felt confident just putting him in there in the system, and that means he was there 2 years prior, he played a little bit, but putting him in there and just running him in there into kind of a pro style offense because of how many motions there were and all that stuff. Tons of motions in Florida's offense, and a bunch of audibles and changing the formation. That happens a lot in the NFL, and that's going to be a big plus for Anthony Richardson coming to the Indianapolis Colts. Shane Steichen's going to know that. Shane Steichen's going to look at it and be like, all right, and these guys do their homework. They do it for a living, right? They know what they're getting themselves into. They know that Anthony Richardson has a lot of work to do, but you also understand the type of upside he has. You'd rather take him than him go somewhere else and ball out there and be like, oh, we should have drafted him. You don't want to feel like that. Absolutely not. So I think it's absolutely worth taking the risk on Anthony Richardson. Now, will he start week 1 as we circle back to this question? Yes, he needs to. He needs to play. Like I've already mentioned, he hasn't played a lot in college. He just needs to play. He needs to get more experience under his belt. And, a lot of people, and having Gardner Minshew, you're going to be tempted to say, well, Minshew's probably going to start, and then Anthony Richardson will come in a little bit, won't play right away. But honestly, Anthony Richardson needs to play. He needs the experience. He needs to see the field. He needs to see these NFL defenses. And he needs to continue to play and get more experience in these pro-style offenses. Now, accuracy is one thing. You're going to look at his stats and be like, damn, a 54.7 completion percentage, I think it was. But you look at his receivers and how poor his receivers were, you're like, okay, and you look at the adjusted completion percentage, which takes away the drops from the receivers, maybe throwaways, and it came up to a 64%. That's pretty impressive. Now, especially for how poor his mechanics were at times and that kind of stuff, but you really love a lot of the traits. And one thing is, having more experience usually translates much better to the NFL. Quarterbacks with very little experience, one to name is Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky had not much experience whatsoever, has not panned out, has not played very well, just hasn't been the quarterback that was expected to come out. Now, and Mitch has a nice arm. His mechanics are rough at times. They were just never fixed. Now, was he put into the best situation with Matt Nagy? Probably not. And sometimes the environment, the situation, the coach you give the guy, the mentor, all that kind of stuff, sometimes that's what makes the world of a difference. Having Gardner Minshew there in case he's not ready, which, I think, he's probably not going to be ready, but he needs the experience. He needs to play. But having a good situation changes it. The offense line isn't horrible. It's not great. It really got a lot better in the second half of the season than it was the first half. Not, it wasn't like former Colts offense line the past couple of years, but it was okay. It was serviceable. And the Colts drafted a few offense linemen, and they picked up a UDFA and Emily Oikoye. He's a guy from Alabama, but damn, he was projected to be a third or fourth round prospect, and we got him in the UDFAs. Maybe there's a medical issue, but I think that guard that we got from Bama, he's going to be a standout. He's going to be good. I think he's going to be the guy that we're going to plug in at right guard. I think he's going to win it right away. There's not much comp at right guard, honestly. Will Fries, he's okay. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just being honest. Will Fries just really isn't the guy. Happy that Matt Pryor's gone. We know that Denny Pinner isn't the guy, but that's off topic. He's going to have a couple of wide receivers. Michael Pittman has some experience under his belt. You're going to have Alec Pierce, who showed a lot of nice flashes last year. And then the Colts did sign Isaiah McKenzie. And on top of that, they drafted Josh Downs in the third round, who can be an incredible an incredible slot option. And having Quentin Nelson on the one side, I mean, I know we're going all over, but then you look at the tight ends, you have Jelani Woods, who is just a freak. He really has a lot of traits that you like, and I think Anthony Richardson will really enjoy throwing to Jelani Woods. I certainly would. He definitely helped me out, but, at the end of the day, Anthony Richardson needs to start, and he is going to start day one. I will not be, I would be surprised if he doesn't start. And especially with, Chris Ballard's situation, they kind of just want to get him in there because he's kind of on the hot seat. At the same time, I know he's not going to make horrible decisions. I know he's going to do what's right for the team. So I'm really excited for Anthony Richardson. I think he's going to start week one. Now, is he going to look great? Is he going to have a season like Justin Fields where he's not throwing for a lot of yards, but he's running for a ton? I can absolutely see a season like that, but I think Anthony Richardson has a better situation that Fields had last year. He has Shane Steichen, who's worked with Phillip Rivers, and then he worked with Justin Herbert to help him enjoy an Offensive Rookie of the Year performance. And then he goes to Philadelphia, and Jalen Hurts has the year of his career and really change the trajectory and the question of the Philadelphia Eagles and the direction they're going, because they're questioning, is Jalen Hurts the guy? Are we going to need to draft someone soon? But Shane Steichen came in, and he really took Jalen Hurts to the next level, which ultimately he cashed in on a pretty damn big contract. And last time the Colts had an offensive coordinator from the Philadelphia Eagles, they took one. It didn't work out too well, but I think this is a very different situation. Shane Steichen is not going to have to deal with losing his franchise quarterback year two into the job and just never really getting the guy that you want to groom. Shane Steichen's getting his guy, and hopefully these two have a great relationship, because you see, a lot of the great quarterbacks and the teams in general have a really good relationship with the head coach. And I fully believe that Steichen and Richardson will hit off, and I think they will get along, and I think they're just going to have a great relationship, and that's a big indicator on how well your football team's going to do and how well maybe your quarterback plays. And, if he wants to play for you, it's a different story. And I think Anthony Richardson has walked himself into a good situation. I know I've talked with emotion these past few years, especially this last year, about Chris Ballard saying he needs to be gone. I think we just need to stay patient with Chris Ballard. I think Chris Ballard knows what he wants. I know sometimes he makes questionable decisions, like not being very active in free agency, but I guess it is what it is, right? And paying a guard, all that much money, he's a generational talent. There's a lot of different things that you could question, but you can't sit there and tell me that you've seen some of these other great GMs make mistakes. Look at what Howie Roseman did. Howie Roseman picked Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. Yeah, how did that turn out? Everyone makes mistakes, and Chris Ballard has made some mistakes, but you learn from them. And that's why I think Chris Ballard is fit for the Colts job for quite some time yet. I know he's conservative in some ways, but I think he knows how to build a football team. He knows how to rebuild, and he knows how to build around the guy. Even though he hasn't done it, he's doing it now. And I think I would rather no one else but Chris Ballard. I think Chris, he gets the ultimate value out of players, whether he's trading for someone or trading him away. You trade him back in the draft and getting steals. It's not always the way you expect it to be. It doesn't have to be the way you want it to be. Chris Ballard is a solid general manager. He's a very good general manager. And I've talked with emotion in the past saying he's horrible, he should be gone. That was emotions. You need to, and I've made the mistake of just acting in the moment and saying what I think in the moment instead of taking a step back and realizing what Chris Ballard has done. And he made the mistake where Chris Reed and Mark Lewinsky, letting both of them go and starting Daniel Pinner. But like I said, everyone makes mistakes. But you learn from your mistakes. And we're going to see if Chris Ballard learns from them, and which I think he has. He has been a very good general manager. He's had a few mistakes here and there, but you can't say that no general manager has not made mistakes. Every general manager has made mistakes. So, I want you guys to let me know what you think about Anthony Richardson. Will he start week 1? I think he absolutely will. He needs to. He just needs to play. He needs to get a feel for NFL ball. It's a lot faster it is, but I want you guys to let me know what you think about this. Do you think Anthony Richardson will start week 1 for the Colts? So I thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where we fans welcome. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the post notification bell on so you don't miss any future videos. This is the JDW Sports Talk Show, signing off.